Change this time, change this time. Do me the honor of telling me how you got in my head. I was halfway out the door, to me you were dead. Now feel my heart beat faster than I ever wanted it to. I'm on fire and your name is written in the soot. My cigarette boy, I could feel in your eyes. You know that I'm a junkie for your mind. Just as tight, my mind is numb. You've eclipsed my heart and poison my lungs. To tell you how I feel is conceding hard when ground. I can feel my heart beat like it's a round sound. When you caress my face, you make my mind numb. And suddenly I can't take in a breath from my own lungs. My cigarette boy, I can feel it in your eyes. You know I'm a junkie for you, my just time. My mind is numb. You've eclipsed my heart, poison my lungs. Feel my heart beat, beat, beat. Feel my heart beat, beat, beat. Got a ticket heart bomb and mental asphyxiation. You got a lot of sweet words with promises of salvation. Words wrapped around my brain too tight. Suffocate my thoughts and make me feel alright. My cigarette boy, I could see it in your eyes.
Well, hello, Lava Girl. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Lava Girl, I'm doing so much better now that I'm finally speaking with you after it feels like months of exchanges and weeks of going down the Lava Girl rabbit hole happily. I'm so excited that the audience got a sneak peek at your incredible talent. And I just, from day one, wanted to ask you, number one, first question, where were you born and when did you realize that you had this artistic ability within you?
I was born in Suffern in Rockland County. And I'm a city transplant. So I moved there for college. And I don't know, I've been a creator, an artist all my life. I have this memory that my mom tells me that I have when I wrote my first poem. I was like comparing love to chocolate truffles, and she was like sitting at the old Macintosh computer typing because I didn't know how to write yet.
Like, only a genius is going to do something like that. I love that. Now, I'm also curious how your name came about, Lava Girl. I think it's so freaking awesome.
Yeah, so I had just dyed my hair orange, and we were just finishing up the production of my first song, Cigarette Boy. And I was speaking with Andy and Brandon, my producers, and we were like, okay, well, if this is going to be my first release, my debut release, like, what do I want to be known as? That was a conversation that we definitely needed to have, because my name is Kylie, right? And there are so many famous people with that name. So I really wanted to make sure that the brand that I would put out would be my own and my own image. And we had spoken, we were exchanging back and forth, and they were like, how about like Lava Girl? And I was like, yes, but copyright infringement? So then we came up with the shortened spelling of it, and I also think it looks cooler that way. So
I freaking love it.
Happy.
I think in a show don't tell way, even the way that you spell it, you automatically, before even listening to a song or seeing you, you know already that this is a badass, unapologetic, authentic gal.
Thank you.
And Lava Girl, I want to know, you know, obviously these past 18 months have been tough for all artists. I mean, especially artists, all humans, but especially artists. I'm curious to know what you were able to do during these past 18 months that were able to kind of keep your creativity fresh.
These past 18 months, I released my first song. I released my first EP. I released my second single. So like, I took as an artist, I abide by the saying that creativity thrives within constraints.
Ooh.
And so through being constricted, I had to, they closed down all the dorms in Manhattan. So I had to go back upstate to be with my parents. And I was stuck in my childhood home. And I was like, you know, I need to put this out there. I need to create. So it wasn't so much, how do I create? It's more like, how can I get what I have created out there?
I love that, because look at, all artists were forced, they were dealt with a hand where they were forced to learn how to do a lot of the production stuff that they may have maybe formerly relied on others on an hourly scale to do for them. But now, do you feel, Lava Girl, that you now have so much more of a literal and figurative hold on your brand because you were forced to kind of be in the trenches with yourself, with your musical talents, and figure out how you get this brand out there?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I was sitting down getting ready for my first release, and I was like, you know, I want a lyric video, but because of the pandemic, I don't have enough money to pay somebody to make that for me. So I learned how to animate on Adobe After Effects and Premiere. And on all of my lyric videos, I've made myself on the trackpad of my little MacBook Pro, and I animated all myself.
Are you effing kidding me? Well, I need, okay, I've seen them. And like the audience, honestly, just to remind them, below this video, you can check out all the links on Lava Girl. You know, Lava Girl, when I think of you, this fiery redhead, I keep thinking about who, you know, young Kylie was. And if there was an opportunity for you to have a conversation with young Kylie, what advice would you give her?
Growing up was actually really hard for me. I spent a lot of my life being solitary. Like it was me and my mind, which I think you could definitely hear in a lot of my lyrics and in my music. So I don't even know if I'd say anything. I think I'd just give myself a hug. I just would need a hug.
You're getting me going, Lava Girl. Listen, not only is your artistry moving, but your story is moving. And I thank you for being an artist, but I'm also talking on behalf of young Will, who felt like a misfit, like he was too much, like he felt too big of emotions because he was called too much. Thank you for being so vulnerable. And again, you do it in such an elegant show, don't tell way. That phrase just keeps coming back for me for you, because you're not a preacher, but you just show through your art that there is an opportunity to choose light in dark.
Mm-hmm.
And you've done that.
Absolutely. I really love that you chose the word vulnerability, because that is exactly the goal that I have when I'm writing my music, when I'm writing my lyrics. Because all of my songs, I'm writing in the moment of my emotions. I'm writing while I'm processing things that are happening in my life. It's a direct translation of what's happening in my head.
But what's so beautiful about that, Lava Girl, I mean, as a director, my favorite theater, but again, you're a great storyteller, right? So for me, it's actually, you're creating little theater scenes, frankly. I'm eavesdropping in when shit hits the fan. The fact that you're vulnerable enough to allow us as an audience to eavesdrop in on you figuring out within the mess, that's called reality. But that's why people probably relate to you, right? Because no one else is doing that. Everyone wants the Instagram selfie filtered look. But no, you're like, no, to do the work, you got to get in the trenches.
Exactly. Yeah,
anyway.
My song, Dear Grief is one that that song has the most important message for me to.
What's the name of it again, my love?
Especially Dear Grief. An important message, especially for young people, because I lost my friend to suicide about, I guess it's just over 2 years now.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Thank you. And these lyrics I wrote while towards, I guess, the middle end of my grieving process. And just because time passes doesn't mean it gets easier. that's not how things like that work. They just happen less frequently and sometimes with more intensity. Like getting better isn't linear. And I never have wanted my music to reflect that it's linear either. And I feel like I've done a good enough job to reflect that as well.
Well, I think what you've also done is that you've allowed the audience to eavesdrop in on you moving through grief, not past it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a skill set, and that's a skill set within itself. Like, because obviously, not only is that proof of the work that you've done on yourself as an artist, but as a human. What I also want to lean into, if it's okay with you, is the platform you have as a genderqueer artist. Talk to me a little bit about why that is important to you in terms of, you know, what you do and how you do it.
Yeah, I mean, my gender identity discovery came really late in the game. Along with my music career, the pandemic also brought about that realization. I use all pronouns, she, him, they, it, wherever the wind takes me is where I'll go. And non-binary doesn't look one way. Gender queerness and queerness in general doesn't have one image. Just because I might present myself as more feminine on a daily basis, that doesn't mean that maybe one day I don't wake up and wear a binder and like masculine clothing, you know? And you don't have to exist in any type of way for your queerness to be valid, because it's not how the world observes you, it's how you observe yourself.
Amen. Amen. You're an advocate as well, my love, without you maybe even knowing it. And again, thank you so much for this, for your time, for shining your light, and really, God bless you.
Thank you. It was a blessing to be here.